南无阿弥陀佛。
So there seems to be a lot of confusion about what holistic health actually is. A lot of people hear the word holistic and for some reason they think holy, like as in the Holy Bible or some kind of spiritual nonsense, when in reality, holistic health is the most realistic approach you can come from to conquer effectively any type of disease or condition within your life or within your own body itself. Now, holistic health. What is holistic health? Holistic health is approaching life in general, as well as different conditions of the body and physical illness and all of these things from the entire perspective, okay? We're not just addressing, like for instance, like say I have depression. Well, of course, diet is one thing. Herbal supplementation is another. But then on top of that, we also have lifestyle factors that play a humongous role. Probably one of the biggest parts of depression, of course, is getting the psychology down. Okay, working with a therapist, of course, is a great strategy, as well as diet and exercise and other things as well. So that's an example of a holistic approach, is implementing the psychology as well as the lifestyle, the way that you live, your social circle, and then other habits you may have. Diet is like the number one thing, and then of course herbs and supplementation as well. So holistic health includes the bigger picture. It's all about the bigger picture. It's not just addressing the symptoms for one thing, okay? So of course the mainstream medical paradigm is all about addressing symptoms. It's like the most superficial, like simple-minded approach you can ever have going towards health. Just like pop a magic pill and do some surgery and stuff, and you'll be better whenever the fuck. Generally people just get sicker and sicker with mainstream medicine. And then of course you have you take it a step further, you have naturopathic medicine. Now naturopathic medicine is great and I love it. Naturopathic medicine is generally at its core simply addressing dietary issues, sometimes recommending different exercises and stuff of that nature, and then of course herbalism and natural medicine as well. Okay, and that's a big part of naturopathic medicine, and all practitioners are different of course, but at its core naturopathic medicine is simply physical healing using natural means. And most naturopathic practitioners choose to go the holistic approach as well. But holistic health, in essence, is all about treating the condition completely, whole. It's all about whole, holistic. That's where it gets its name from. And generally, this is also where the Holy Bible, the Holy Spirit comes from. But of course, I'm not really into any religion whatsoever. I'm a huge fan of all sorts of philosophies, but I don't classify myself as anything. Okay, so I'm not like a Christian or anything, not that it matters, but I just want to hammer home this point that holistic health is all about treating your problems holistically. Okay, if you have depression, the holistic approach is dietary protocols, making sure you're eating healthy, making sure you address food intolerances because they can cause depression and all sorts of things. Making sure you get outside, you get into the sun, making sure you get your vitamin D, because the sun is a really, really big factor in not only your sleep and wake cycle, but also how great you feel during the day. Regulates your hormones, making sure your hormones are on check, making sure your diet is addressing those hormonal issues, making sure you take herbal supplementation, because these really, really, really help. It's even been scientifically shown that herbal antidepressants and herbs that uplift your mood happen to work better than a lot of the leading antidepressants, prescription antidepressants that is. So, maybe taking some passion flower, maybe taking some holy basil, some ashwagandha or something like that can really, really help with a condition like depression. And on top of that, you're going to want to go and do cardiovascular exercise. 30 minutes a day would be recommended because after the 20-minute mark, that's when your body starts to produce serotonin and dopamine, etc., etc., etc. And then, of course, with depression, a really, really big part of it is learning how to express yourself. So the psychology behind depression, of course, without a doubt, is huge, okay? Just addressing the psychology alone is a great way to alleviate depression, but of course it still doesn't take care of every part of it. Of course, it can alleviate depression to a degree, but it won't completely, reverse depression from being in your life in general. So expression is the antidote, and so emphasizing the psychology behind why you're depressed in the first place, addressing your demons, okay, looking at, well, what, maybe I need to improve on my life. I mean, generally that's the big part of depression. Really, any illness is calling you to make drastic improvements on your character and your lifestyle as well. Okay, so learning different ways of expression and asking yourself, am I hanging around the friends that I want to hang out with? Making sure you actually have friends that can help uplift you, right? Because a really big part of our social, of our self-esteem and how we feel is directly correlated with the people we surround ourselves with and the influences in which we surround ourselves with. So if you're laying down, just drifting off into space all fucking day, your mind is on idle, or you're reminiscing of the past, you're fixating yourself on problems and things of this nature, it's without a doubt going to make you depressed. So until you can address the psychology of it, the habits that are making you depressed in the first place, you're never going to be able to move on. Okay, so you can change your diet and you can use these herbs, but that's not going to cure your anxiety already. And the same thing can be said about just addressing your lifestyle or just addressing your depression, your psychology. Now, of course, that addressing the psychology would play the biggest role, but hormonal issues can cause stress and anxiety as well. And taking something like ashwagandha while also consuming a diet that helps to enhance your brain function, your mood, these will just add the icing on the cake. So that's an example of a holistic approach in a practical sense for a common condition. Okay, so what's another example? Well, let's look at heart disease, because that's an easier one that's not extremely controversial. Okay, I was going to say cancer, but we'll say heart disease. Okay, so heart disease. Well, everybody knows, heart disease, number one, you need to change your diet to a diet that complements your vascular function, your cardiovascular function. Now, there's a lot of, arguments on what diet would be the best for cardiovascular disease. We have a lot of the big name doctors reversing heart disease with a low-fat, high-carbohydrate vegan diet, which I'm not really a fan of. And I used to be really, really big on that whole starch-based diet thing, but nowadays I'm just, in my own experience and other people I know, I don't think it's the best approach. If you can tolerate starches, it would be a great idea to do something like an Asian diet. But this video is not really meant to diagnose anything or treat anything or cure anything. This video is basically just trying to give examples of, holistic approach. So with that being said, of course, adopting a diet could be a starch-based diet, could be Mediterranean diet, it could even be the paleo diet. Okay, I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying different diets, you want to be educating yourself on that and working with a naturopathic or a functional medicine doctor, some kind of licensed physician that can help work with you, or a nutritionist, some kind of medical professional that can help you determine what the best diet would be to reverse that disease. So the diet, that's one factor, okay? But cardiovascular disease, can be chronic on other things as well. One big part of it is stress, okay? A lot of people don't emphasize the stress issue. And so physical stress, of course, inflammation and things will be addressed with the diet. Furthermore, you have, is the woman that you're with, or the man that you're with, is your partner stressing you drastically? Are they causing you a significant amount of stress? Maybe you should think about, addressing your relationship issues. Maybe you should think about hanging out with better friends. Maybe you don't have any friends, or maybe you don't have any partner. Maybe you should think about how your life would improve if you went out and got a partner, or if you went out and got a better social circle. Okay, these are examples of how your social circle can drastically affect the stress. So if you go out and you get yourself some good friends, good company, and stuff of that nature, they can help you relax and raise the oxytocin in your body and relax your nervous system, and also just give you a better sense of fulfillment and belonging. And this can really, really help with heart disease and depression and all sorts of other issues. It's pretty awesome how the holistic approach can really solve all of your issues if you're really serious about it and you work on it. Okay, so yeah, your social circle can really, really help with the stress. And then of course exercise, cardiovascular exercise. Once again, just simply doing 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise every day. I mean, it's cardiovascular exercise. I mean, it's pretty much the prime exercise prescription. I'm a personal trainer, so of course I can say some shit like that. Prescribe exercises for people, to enhance cardiovascular performance. Cardiovascular exercise is pretty much the prime prescription for cardiovascular health. But at the same time, it also reduces stress, so you have a double whammy when it comes to your exercise program. So 30 minutes of exercise every day of cardiovascular exercise will improve your heart health. It'll help you reverse that heart disease, and it'll also reduce stress, which also helps reverse heart disease and just makes you feel better all around. And of course, weight training on top of that would be a great idea, to really help with your metabolism and help balance your hormones if you're a man, and even if you're a woman. But there would be different exercise styles for that. But lifting really heavy weights, generally you don't have to lift that much, just about 30 minutes a day once again, to 45 minutes depending on who you are and how you work out, can really have a great impact on your hormones. And also, of course, your hormones can play a big role in your heart health as well. I mean, you can be on a heart healthy diet, but if you have nutritional deficiencies or hormonal imbalance, then your heart healthy diet's not going to be very heart healthy, because fucking nutrient deficiencies are a big part of heart disease. And this is why a lot of people may not get the best results on certain heart health type of diets, whereas other people may get great results. This is the difference maker. Okay, this is why it's important, extremely important, to make sure that you're doing what works for you. This is a big part of the holistic approach, is everybody's different. So you've got to treat each person as an individual, okay? And for their individual concern. One person with the same exact disease is going to be, can be cured with a completely different protocol from somebody else with the same disease. So, exercise, and then of course, your stress, doing some yoga, some meditation, and then of course you can take herbs like hawthorn is excellent for blood pressure, and it's a great heart tonic overall. There's a lot of other ones. I believe Korean ginseng, or Asian ginseng, red Asian ginseng, Chinese ginseng. I believe these are great for blood pressure, but that's another whole nother video. So once again, as you can see, addressing the entire body as well as your lifestyle. Making sure that your entire life is enhancing your health and not taking away from it. This is a big part of the holistic approach. Okay, so those are different conditions and examples of how a holistic approach would treat that. And there's a lot more to it as well. Of course, you got the sleep, like how are you sleeping, and then very, very big part of this is does your lifestyle allow you to eat the way you want to eat? Okay, for example, For the longest time, I was a health Nazi to the point where, when I started school, it would have been extremely hard for me to go to school and eat the way I wanted to eat, because in order to eat, as healthy as I wanted to, I would have to cook all of my meals like ahead of time, or in the morning, and this and that, and it would just cut into my sleep and cut into other areas of my life. There's not enough fucking time in the world to be preparing all of your meals yourself. Okay, you can make it more efficient by just making all your meals in one day and this and that. But there's other alternatives and ways around it as well. And so that's a big part of something you have to look at, because a lot of times we get this health advice, and I'm guilty of this myself. Just that's extremely unrealistic for a lot of people. Okay, not everybody is able to take a trip to a farm and get raw milk, and fresh eggs and shit like that. I mean, for me, it would take fucking 80 miles, actually more like 160 miles just to get raw milk. And so a better option would be, well, don't drink raw milk, just find other options instead of milk. You know what I mean? As opposed to a lot of people who emphasize yeah, it's a health food and this and that, you can be super excited about something, but if it's going to cost you too much money or something, or it just takes too much time, if it's not realistic for your lifestyle, then find other options, okay? And that's the glory of it all, is there's always a better alternative. Just make sure you're doing something that's giving you health, it's fortifying your body, it's nourishing your body, as well as working with your lifestyle. And that's another big part of this too, is a lot of people think that they can just take an herb, or they can take an isolated compound or some kind of supplement, and then all their problems are solved, right? For me, for a lot of my career, I would spend more money on supplements, more money on herbs, more money on natural remedies than I would on my own diet and my own food. And so I was always feeling hypoglycemic in a way, because I was undernourished. I wasn't eating enough food. And for anybody who's been following me for a long time or knows me personally, they know that I do very intense workouts. I do Olympic lifting, martial arts, I do powerlifting, and I also like to do hypertrophy work and intense cardiovascular exercise. So I'm burning on average probably 1,000, and I wouldn't even be surprised if it was 2,000 calories every day. And I sweat a lot. I'm burning calories like a motherfucker. And so for me to spend more money on herbs than food, especially considering the fact that I really am running on maybe $600, $700 a month, that's not enough fucking money for me to, be doing some bullshit like that. Okay, and so after a while, I kind of woke up to my senses, right? And I was like, well, fucking A, I feel like complete shit because I'm not eating anything. I thought I was eating a lot of calories, but then when I started to count my calories, I realized I needed to spend more money on food, okay? So that's a very, very big part of this. Don't waste your fucking money on a ton of herbs or a ton of supplements if you can't afford them, okay? It's much more important to be consuming foods, and you can even consume superfoods. Like, for instance, if I wasn't starch intolerant and I could actually digest nuts and seeds and things like that, okay, for the average person who actually can tolerate nuts and seeds and rices and stuff like that, if it works for your condition and whatnot and doesn't cause you any problems, then, black rice is a great kidney tonic from China that helps to fortify your energy as well as your vital essence. It can build a foundation for your diet and includes a lot of antioxidants not found in regular rice. So you're getting, rice, but you're also getting, antioxidants equivalent of a superfood. And of course, we always hear about chia seeds. We hear about, different nuts and cashews and stuff like that. And you can load up on chia seeds and flax seeds, and so you're getting the calories and the nutrition from the seeds, but you're also getting all the superfood benefits and different health properties that you would also be able to get from like an herb. The difference is that you're spending less money, on the food itself, and you're also getting a lot of nourishment, like superfood quality nourishment from a food. And that's the great thing about superfoods is like you're not only getting medicine, like extremely great medicine and tonic effects, but you're also getting those calories. So it's not really putting a hole in your wallet. Of course, for me, it kind of blows because I cannot eat, different seeds and nuts and rice and grains and shit like that because it doesn't work with my body type. It doesn't work with my biology, and I end up just shitting it out. Okay, but that's just an example of a solution for certain people. Okay, otherwise you're going to have to compensate. Okay, you're going to want to first of all spend money on the diet, and don't worry about the supplements or the pills if you cannot buy them. Okay, pretty much the only thing that would be worthy of supplementing with would probably be vitamin D. Okay, if you don't know of any other deficiencies, vitamin D would probably be the only thing. Okay, and then from there, depending on if you're a man or a woman, maybe some maca root, maybe something to help you go to sleep, like some ashwagandha, something to lower cortisol and regulate your estrogen levels, okay, to help minimize estrogens because they're so commonly abundant in our society. Okay, but of course, exercise is free. Okay, meditation is free. Deep breathing is free. Some of the most health promoting things that we have are cost effective. They're free. So, the most substantial health benefits comes from things like deep breathing. It comes from things like a balanced diet. It comes from things like cardiovascular exercise, just running outside. And if you don't have enough money to go to the gym, okay, because I feel like the gym is very, very worth it. Okay, I find a lot of value in the gym. But of course, I'm very, very serious about my exercise. I mean, I'm a personal trainer, for crying out loud. But, calisthenics are great to build an overall strong, healthy, vigorous, energetic body, and also can make your body look amazingly muscular and toned. I mean, you look at the bar stars, or Frank Madrano is a great example. He looks amazingly healthy, and he does superhuman things. And this guy's also a vegan, which I'm not saying vegan diets are godlike, but I'm definitely not saying they're Satan as well. I'm not saying they're good or bad. And once again, I'm not a Christian. But also, philosophy and psychology. You can go to the fucking library and read psychology books for free. You have plenty of great information online. So there's really no excuses to reverse diseases, no excuses to be depressed, and there's no excuses for you to not be getting the results that you want in life. But it all comes from, of course, the psychology that's why I emphasize psychology and philosophy so much, because they're the number one reason why people are getting the results they want in life or are not, right? It's a deal breaker. It's, what separates the successful from the poor, or from the successful from the unsuccessful, because even if you are rich, you can still be unsuccessful in certain people's eyes. You can be unhappy. Okay, you can be crazy and shave your head like Britney Spears or something. But so pretty much I think I've given enough information about this, and you could easily see what I'm saying here, okay, because you hear all these fuckers talk about like snake oil this and snake oil that. Well, that's because you don't understand a fuck thing about motherfucking life at all, let alone, what herbs are meant for. Herbs are not meant to be used as a fucking cure-all. Okay, if you're gonna call fucking herbs and natural remedies snake oil, but then for some reason modern medicine is not, then you're on some fucking serious crack, because you can take an antidepressant and feel high as a motherfucker, right? You can take a hard drug like meth and probably feel like you're on top of the world. I don't really know. I've never done that in my life. But if you take herbs, they can make you feel pretty good. Most of them may not be as effective as prescription medication, but they shouldn't be, because the only people who need to take prescription medication are people who do not have other areas of their life covered, right? They don't have their diet down, and maybe they have their diet down. Maybe their diet isn't as good as they think it is. Maybe they think their diet's healthy, but if the diet was actually healthy, then they wouldn't need medication. And maybe their diet's good, but maybe they have too much fucking stress. Maybe they're a super health Nazi, right? And they have this new shit called orthorexia, where they're super obsessed about their health to the point where it fucks up their health, right? You know, they don't have their stress down. They don't have their relationships and life down, right? So you can take all the antidepressants you want, you can take all the heart medication you want and all these things, but at the end of the day, you have to fucking cover all bases in order to really get some results. And this is some awesome shit, because for a lot of people it may sound overwhelming. And it may be just because it's new, you know, it's a complete system, right? But it's really easy and simple, and over time, your entire life changes to the point where it's like, fucking A, I wish I would have known this a long time ago. You know, because this takes away a lot of the stress, a lot of the pain, you know, simply by embracing the pain head on, you know, and then you become bulletproof from it. This is the best insurance package anyone can get on their health. This is the best health insurance in the world. And it's super fucking easy and cheap. You know, the only thing you have to pay for really is diet. Unless, of course, you're a fucking wild tribesman or something. But anyway, hope this has been resourceful. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I would love to fucking hear from anyone. And if you want to talk some shit or criticize me, please go right ahead, because I would love to fucking debate with you. Just do not expect for me to just, you know, allow you to say some bullshit if it sounds like fucking nonsense to me. Okay, because generally people that call me delusional for, you know, believing in holistic health, which isn't quite often. Most people love the shit I have to say. But if you are one of those people who thinks that all, you know, people, like, all natural health practitioners are, you know, delusional, or all natural health practitioners are quacks, as you call them, you're probably the most delusional motherfucker on the face of the planet right now. And natural selection will probably cut you out of existence pretty soon. Yeah, so check out my new website. It's wvlholistichealth.com. I'll be linking it down in the fucking description. So yeah, but motherfucking subscribe. There's gonna be a lot more motherfucking shit where that motherfucking came from, you motherfucker.